yourself.
Hey, everybody, it's another episode of Go Flix Yourself. My name is Ben Conowitz, and with me, as always, is the Mr. Ed to my Alf, Bradford Oman.
Hey, that's me.
I like cats.
Wilbur.
I like cats. I want to eat cats. Is that what he says?
Yeah, it's like, you and me a collect call?
You just remember the commercials?
Yeah.
And you know what? That makes Nate Laux, you're going to be our small wonder.
Beep, bop. Good.
At least you remembered she was a robot.
I had to think for a second. I'm like, what is small wonder?
And our special guest, Blossom, Luke Starkey.
Hello.
That's a perfect Blossom impression.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Definitely sounds like young Mrs. Doubtfire.
Welcome to Go Flix Yourself. This is a podcast where we talk about movies and trailers, and we talk about a lot of stuff, a lot of silly shenanigans.
Yeah, sometimes we get into a little bit of nonsense.
It's gonna be one of those.
We're a few rapscallions over here.
Oh boy. Already off.
We have so much mischief in here in this podcast room.
If you're still listening, I think we've lost everybody right there. But if you're still listening, go ahead and rate us 5 stars if you please.
Yeah.
Just go on and share this with the people.
And it would help if you rate us 5 stars before you listen to the episode.
Yes.
Yeah, because afterwards it's like,
Yeah, we don't know what.
Don't call your ex before you get drunk.
Yep. Yeah.
Do it afterwards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is let's start off like we always do, Brad. I'm eyeing it out of the side eye over here. We got a sponsor.
We do have a
We
sponsor.
have a very special sponsor.
It's we're coming to the end of the Christmas season. Ben, I know you're getting sad because there's no more hot chocolate to drink. There's no more presents to open. There's no more houses to visit in your Santa Claus suit.
Why is there no more hot chocolate to drink?
Ben has a strict rule.
I don't know.
No hot chocolate after Christmas.
Fair enough.
What?
But I wanted to get one more drink in this holiday season. It's very, very
Hey,
delicious.
me too, Brad.
Trust me, I know you're not done with those drinks, buddy. But Santa needs his Jack Daniels.
It's got a chimney.
So there's this came out last year, but it was just a regular version of it. It's a Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry, and it's Sprite with just a hint of spiced cranberry, and it is delicious. And this year they came out with a 0 sugar version, so people who are maybe on the verge of getting diabetes, like can have
Like a pirate?
yeah, like can
French
have
pirate.
have a delicious soda around the holidays that reminds them of crisp winter nights.
Crisp winter nights.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take a little sip
Well,
here.
thanks, Sprite, for sincerely and honestly sending a check to cover today's episode while Brad slurps into the microphone like a freaking jagged.
No, this is really good. It's kind of like if you made like your own holiday punch, basically, but like because the cranberry flavor to it is pretty nice. There's not much of a what you would say is a spice to it. It's just it seems like it's just
It's all
a
in the
vocabulary.
marketing. Like
Yeah,
they're just trying to market
all
it.
just marketing.
Yeah, that's what it feels like, really. But no, I think it's really good. Especially,
What Christmas food do you think it would pair well with?
ooh,
Like
that's
a good Christmas ham.
Ooh, yeah,
yeah,
Christmas ham.
absolutely, like a nice Christmas ham, maybe some deviled eggs.
Okay.
I didn't have any deviled eggs this Christmas.
You didn't have deviled eggs?
Well, he's a
No.
pastor, so he doesn't like to really
I
get
do.
down with the devil.
I do like a good deviled egg.
Do you
Yeah.
really?
I do.
Why wouldn't you?
Well, I'm an atheist and I like angel food cake, so here it is.
What was that Sprite?
Winter spiced cranberry and
0 sugar.
yeah, you can try and find in stores. It's probably running close to being out at most stores by now because it's usually just around for the Christmas holidays. So,
Nice.
All
yeah.
right. All right. Well, that does it for sponsor corner.
No, not quite,
Oh,
sir.
boy. Oh, no.
Because since we're
really
reaching the end,
tried to run through
since we're
that.
reaching the end of the year, I have a little bit of a bonus sponsor that everyone's going to get in on. It's going to be a delicious treat. Ben, I know you're going to love this one.
I don't.
Here you go. Go ahead and grab this. Luke, I'm going to give this to you.
This is a candy cane.
I'm really excited about it.
It's a little bit broken, so give a piece to Nate.
Okay, I can do
And
You
that.
don't have to.
And then you can
Luke.
have a piece.
Do you want the
You
hook?
You don't have to.
It's okay, Luke. It's yours.
No. You get to have a piece.
Here you go.
You get to suck on it a little bit. It is a candy cane.
Don't spoil it.
And I want you to take a taste and just let me know what you think about it. What do you think it tastes like?
Is that butterscotch? Is
No.
that pina colada? What is that?
That's what you think it is?
I don't know.
Can you hear it?
I'm really bad
That's
with
a good
tastes
guess.
and stuff. Let's not do that, guys.
I just want to make sure people
Yum,
knew.
Luke.
No,
Good job.
let's not do
That's
that.
what you do with the sponsor.
No,
you put it
you
right in the
don't.
I
microphone.
want people to know that I was
People-
chewing it.
People don't listen to our podcast, and you wonder why.
So this is
it's this bullshit. You're like, but you fucking idiots. Like,
You
Well,
just
they
did
thought
it.
they might think we're faking it.
this is not an ASMR podcast. This is a fucking movie podcast.
Maybe you
You're
get
gonna
more listeners.
Sucking off into the microphone.
I'm gonna say it is a type of lemon cake.
Yeah, there's definitely lemon.
Interesting. Okay.
It's angel food cake.
So for the listeners, the candy cane is yellow and white striped. So I think this is where some of the guesses are coming from, but it does have a sweeter taste to it.
I tasted some lemon. All right, I'm leaving. I'm like a meringue.
This used to be a movie podcast.
Ben,
We
I
used to
think
have fun.
Ben's guess feels like the closest because I think it does taste more like what he is saying than what it actually is supposed to
What
be.
did he guess?
He's got angel food cake.
Angel food cake.
Lemon meringue pie.
Yeah. So
What's
there,
it supposed to be?
Key lime pie.
Yeah, we're keeping with our lemon.
these are Twinkie candy canes.
That's not close at all.
Yeah,
that's
they
not
have
Twinkie.
they have not replicated the taste.
Sir,
of,
I've had Twinkies. That is not a Twinkie.
yeah, I'm kind of disappointed. This does not replicate the taste of the Twinkie cream or the
No.
Twinkie sponge cake. You know,
not
'cause-
even close.
No.
Yeah, if anything, this tastes more like just regular buttercream birthday cake.
Yeah,
That's
I can see
closer,
a little
yeah.
bit of that.
Yeah.
What has happened?
No
to us?
Twinkies.
Why?
Real quick, I'm gonna steal this time. I threw them away. I thought of Brad because I know he likes to try food to see if it tastes like food it's supposed to taste like.
Yeah, yeah.
Brock's Thanksgiving candy corn.
Yeah,
have you had it?
I have done that, and it was
terrible.
It was bad. It was
It's
real bad.
Perhaps the worst thing I've ever
Yeah,
eaten in
we
my
did that
entire
on
life.
Ben Bread and Beyond.
You should have had the taco truck ones we did because
Oh my
those
God.
those were a nightmare.
I still think about those and vomit.
Yeah, but which ones were worse, the taco ones or the tailgate ones with the hot dog?
The tailgate ones were by far.
Yeah.
the
I
worst.
saw those were for sale too.
Yeah, the hot dog and the hamburger.
Obviously, I'm gonna get those.
Someone should have been fired.
the hot
Props.
dog was one of the most disgusting things I've ever had. In my life.
I mean,
Hot dog candy cane. Candy corn.
we
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
we
so
joke
excited.
around all the time about like, oh, this is really bad. I'm gonna throw up. I retched.
Yeah,
on
same,
air.
same.
No, I had
It was
students who almost
terrible.
threw up from the stuffing candy
Mhm.
corn.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
So yeah, Twinkie candy
Yeah.
canes.
Teacher of the year.
Found the Twinkie candy canes at Michael's
Good.
Arts and Crafts store. If you're looking out there,
Arts and crafts and candy cane.
if you're looking for disappointment after the
Michael's.
Yeah.
Disappointing.
yeah, I have a Girl Scout Thin Mints candy cane that I haven't tried yet.
Oh, why didn't you bring that
Ooh.
one? That
Yeah,
sounds delightful.
This one was gonna be way more fun.
No.
Yeah.
I think you forgot what the word fun means.
No, because then you would have been like, oh, it's just chocolate mint candy cane, obviously.
Well, give me something that one time that I'd be like, this is good. Go buy this.
You wanna
I'm
taste-
not saying this is bad.
You want to taste my
It's
soda?
bad.
You want to taste my soda?
No.
I kind of do, but
Not.
You're sick, too.
You're
I'm not
coming
sick
of a-
anymore.
Of a sickness. Luke,
this isn't bad.
Luke, what's the last movie you saw, buddy?
Yeah, it's not terrible, but it's not great either.
Luke, what's the last movie you saw, buddy?
In theaters or just overall?
Anything. Start talking about a movie. Anyone chime in.
All
with
right.
a movie.
So we watched. I don't know. It was one of those Hallmark Christmas movies. Where
Great
the-
guess.
Go
Oh,
boy.
No.
Go on.
It's Christmas Home is what it was called. This, the same old the lady was sad and there's I don't know, whatever. It was terrible. Other than that, I saw Violent Night in theaters.
There we go. There's a real conversation.
There
can
we
have.
go.
Took
Yeah.
my niece because I'm a good uncle.
How old is
Yeah.
your niece?
7.
Okay.
No, she's a freshman.
Yeah, that was the same joke that we were making. That sounded too real then.
I know it did. No, she's
in high
a
school.
freshman
She
in
can
high
handle
school.
it. She's fine.
Yeah.
Did she like it?
She did. There's a theme going around the Starkeys that we don't like little children as actors. And have you guys seen? I know you've seen it.
Oh, I've
Did you
seen it
see
twice.
I haven't seen it yet.
Have you seen it?
No.
Well, there's a little girl in it, and gosh, she's bad.
She's not bad.
She's
So-
bad.
Okay, so
She's
I
bad.
feel like the Starkeys have like a
We have-
predilection towards like a lot of young child actors. They just can't deal with any of them.
And oh my god, it brought a tear to my eye because we left the movie, and what does she say? Man, I really don't like most kid actors, and that one was terrible. I'm like, oh my god, your
You guys
dad
got
is
something
so
running through-
proud of
something
you.
running through your genes.
So for those of you that are old Go Flix Yourself listeners, Luke Starkey and his brother Joe Starkey have been on the show
Numerous, yeah.
7 to 10 times, let's just say. And Joe, unfortunately, has left the mortal realm. He is no longer with us. He passed on, and we miss him every day. And Luke, this is your first time back since that happened, and it happened quite a while. It was March
March of 21.
21, and it's been quite a while. Joe was significantly amazing to have on this podcast, not just because he absolutely hated child actors that
Hates
knew
them.
I mean,
We
if you-
had 3 rules.
Yeah.
So it was children actors.
Yep.
Dogs that talk, or not just dogs, animals that talk
Yep.
or behave like humans.
Yep.
And added sound effects.
Yep. He just
That immediately,
vehemently
I'm done.
disgusted him.
It's specifically precocious child actors. I think.
No, it was
Yeah, mainly.
child
Yeah.
actors that like
That are too smart for their
were,
own good.
were
Yeah.
written to be too smart for their
Yeah,
own good.
exactly.
Now, did he have a problem with Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone because of that? Because he technically knows more than he should. Is a little bit too precocious.
Yeah, but I think he still acts a
He
lot like a
acted
kid.
like a kid, though.
Yeah.
Probably got a pass.
Like he's not giving sage, words of wisdom or like saying things that like a kid would never say as a joke or things like that.
So Joe would text me after he would watch a movie with the kids, and they would just get these random texts, and they were so angry. It would just be like, "Can you believe that this so-and-so actor hated the kid? Don't know his name, never going to look it up." Like, he was just so adamant about it. It always made me laugh so much. So no, there is a precedent here for sure about kids, and I love that your niece is definitely
She's
rubbed off.
taking up that mantle.
Oh, I love it so much. Fuck those child actors.
That was pretty much the first thing. I always say, well, how'd you like it? Oh, I thought it was pretty funny. That little girl, though, I don't know. I'm like, oh, go on. I like where this is going.
Let the hate flow through you. Is that what he says in the Star Wars, Brett?
It is.
Yeah.
Okay, there we are. But overall, you guys enjoyed the movie?
Yeah, I thought it's a blast. It's like you kind of know what you're getting into with that one.
Sure.
Would you say Santa's got a brand new bag
I would say Santa Claus is coming to town and he brings it.
up on the rooftop? Reindeer paws. Out comes motherfucking Santa Claus.
I wish he had said that.
Actually, that would have been a better line than a couple. That's the thing. They played the violence for laughs, obviously, but the stuff that they were trying to make jokey, it could have been done a little bit better.
So it wasn't very funny.
I mean, it was funny because of the violence.
We laughed pretty much the entire time.
It needed some punch
But I
ups.
noticed that the people behind us in the theater were not laughing nearly as much as we were.
We were laughing because we did that thing where we were like, oh,
Yeah.
oh. But it wasn't like that was a really funny line.
Yeah.
It definitely needed a little punch up on the comedic side of things as far as the script. But because he did say a few things like Santa Claus is coming to town, and you're like, that's funny. But they're like, Brad, honestly, like that would have been a funnier thing to say.
Yeah.
I don't know. I liked it though.
I had a blast. I thought it was super
watch
fun.
I'm gonna watch it this week. So.
It's it falls somewhere in the John Wick nobody universe, with the hyper stylized violence
Yeah, of
and the
course.
stunts and all that. I don't know quite where it lands, but I still think that it's not as good as nobody. It's definitely not as good as the John Wick as far as the action, but it's such a unique take that it's so worth your time.
A vision or a version of this remarkably violent but also very funny film. I always like did you guys watch the one with Samara Weaving, Ready or Not?
Oh yeah.
I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, it's great.
I thought there were some really great one-liners, really well written, but also incredibly violent.
No, there's Ready or Not. It's a great horror comedy.
Yep.
It's not a comedy horror. It's definitely more in the horror.
Yep.
But there's some comedy there for sure. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Luke,
I
I
agree.
highly recommend that one.
Which one is that?
It's called Ready or Not.
Ready or Not.
It's where this woman played
Where
by
she gets married and they like start hunting her down?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a game where they're trying to kill each other.
Brad, what about you, buddy? We didn't actually assign movies this week. We don't have any forced watchings.
Yeah, it was Christmas was happening. It was hard to really line it all up, and so we decided just to say fuck it.
Well, after the shit show that was the last three that we watched.
Yeah.
No. That was 2 times ago. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
We watched some regular good Christmas movies last
Little
time.
Women last time for me was really good.
I
But
think
anyway, what did you watch, Brad?
so I actually haven't really watched much as far as movies have been concerned because I've just been too
Nate, how about you, buddy?
too busy. But I will say something
sorry.
that I watched that I forgot to bring up last time. I watched the Bob's Burgers movie.
Yeah.
And I haven't really watched a lot of Bob's Burgers. I saw the first season when it was on.
Okay.
And then I didn't stop watching it because I didn't like it. I fell behind and then kind of fell away from it.
As a huge Bob's Burgers fan, I am legitimately interested for somebody who's only seen maybe the first season. What did you think of the movie?
I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was necessarily consistently laugh out loud hilarious. I thought it was mostly consistently mildly amusing. I've seen clips of other episodes of Bob's Burgers that are from later seasons that have made me laugh, and the show looks very funny. But the movie didn't quite feel like it captured the same spirit of what I've seen from the show in the same way that the Simpsons movie did from the show. The Simpsons movie is by no means as good as any of the best seasons of the Simpsons.
But it's a comeback.
Yeah,
But
I did wonder if maybe how fans felt about the Bob's Burgers movie. If it was maybe too little, too late.
No.
or
So if I've learned anything about the Bob's Burgers fandom, which I actually have, they by and large have leaned heavily into musicality.
Yeah.
And my goodness, are the fans there for it?
Yeah.
And so this movie has a ton of music.
Yeah, I was surprised how musical it was actually.
So beyond the 6th, 7th season, they start to get every episode has a song.
Okay.
And then by the 10th season, or I don't even, if you guys watch Bob's Burgers, I'm sure you know way more than me. Let's just say by the 9th, 10th, 11th season, not only does every episode have one song, most of them have two.
Oh, wow.
And then at the closing credits, they always sing
Interesting.
about what just happened in the episode. And it's some random song.
Okay.
about the plot of the episode you just watched. So it's like, Gene had a diaper man, can. Like, it's literally something like that.
Okay.
And if the episode just had something to do with Gene finding a diaper, right? So they've really leaned into that, and the movie did that. And so I think that it was kind of a fan service because they clearly have latched onto something unique and stylized. I actually, because I'm not an enormous lover of that, I really like the earlier seasons where it's much more plot A, plot B, driven.
Yeah.
But it's still, the movie was still pretty good. But
I was
a lot of music though.
Yeah, I was mildly entertained by it. I didn't love it. It didn't.
There's a lot of inside jokes, obviously, and a lot of stuff that you would see. Obviously, if you haven't seen, I mean, that's tough. So it is interesting that as a standalone movie, it's not going to tickle your fancy if you haven't really watched a lot of the show. Probably.
And it didn't make me want to like go back and like catch. Because I have every now and then thought about diving back into Bob's Burgers, but like now it's just so overwhelming.
Sure.
But the movie didn't really do anything to make me like want to go back and
I think
watch
for
it.
you, just because I know you, seasons like 1 through 4, you should just give that a go. Because honestly, those are the laugh out loud, like really riotously funny stuff, I think.
Okay.
Nate, how about you, buddy? What's the last movie you saw?
I've seen 2 movies this last week. The first one
Wait, Brad, did you see Glass Onion?
was
I saw Glass Onion in theaters like a month
talked
ago.
about that.
Yeah.
We have a podcast. We talk about that stuff.
You should listen to it, Ben. It's pretty good.
On the podcast,
Get sick again.
on the podcast that we're on, he mentioned that it was maybe every bit as good as the first one.
I actually said that I thought it was better than
yeah.
Knives Out.
And so go back and listen to that episode.
Oh my God, get to the point.
So
according to the Twitter feed of Ben Shapiro, he says that Glass Onion is too mysterious, and they don't.
He also said
there's
it was
too many misleading things going on.
Actively terrible, I think it was.
Yeah,
he said,
yeah.
right?
He says.
Like there are few films I would call
drop that name to get some
terrible.
Get some
right?
viewers.
So I did see Glass Onion. It is not actively terrible. It's actually
You know what is actively terrible though? Ben fucking Shapiro.
100%.
I think Ben Shapiro just mad is because the little Nazi kid in Knives Out was basically him.
So you can cut this if you want. I'll tell you a story. The funniest review I've ever received from my gutter company was that
Ben Shapiro,
a woman that we did work for, who's a friend of mine. She thankfully did not tag my business, but she put it on my her Facebook page. We just did the work on a Wednesday night, enormous rain. Thursday I got a post, and it's me personally tagged in it. Ben Conowitz just did my gutters yesterday. House as dry as Shapiro's wife. 10 out of 10.
Amazing.
It's the funniest thing. I mean, I laughed so hard, and I was so thankful she just didn't tag into the actual.
Phenomenal.
But foundation as dry as Shapiro's wife. 10 out of 10.
All right, so Nate, Glass Onion.
I heard it's great.
What did you think?
I loved it. It is on Netflix now, so you can watch it. It is every bit as good as the first one, I think. The one thing that I think people are going to get caught up on is that it has a very different feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly because it's not set in New England, it's not in the fall, these kind of things. Which again was purposeful, right? Ryan Johnson talks about how he wants each one to be a separate book that comes from a different kind of feeling to it. So the next one that they do, I'm sure, will be in a different part of the world.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's going to feel very, very different. It's just such a great cast. Janelle Monáe is fantastic. She's just so charismatic and good in this. Her acting chops. I mean, again, I knew she was incredibly talented, but I didn't know she was this good. She was just so good.
Mm-hmm.
Benoit Blanc, right? I mean, he's just it's become a character now, right? It's not just a film. It is a character that I can't wait to see more of.
Yeah.
They flesh him out a little bit more as his personality.
But just barely,
but enough to where you get just a little more clues of who he is.
Yeah.
What is I think really interesting, Brad, and maybe you picked this up, is they play with the idea of is he a lovable idiot or is he incredibly brilliant, right?
Daniel Craig.
Yeah, like in that because he says some things in there but he's incredibly brilliant, right? I'm not talking about Daniel Craig. I'm talking about the character of Benoit Blanc. And so it's really fun because sometimes he'll say things where you're like, oh, that's kind of a funny thing to say, or you almost think he's aloof,
I think he's just
he's so smart.
Yeah, he's very brilliant. I would never say like he's like there's nothing stupid about him. I think that he has quirks, and he's not necessarily up to snuff on like certain things, but he very quickly and easily picks up on details that like you otherwise wouldn't.
Also, he uses that as his kind of like it's not woe is me. It's his whole like, well, I'm just not quite sure about that.
Yeah.
And like I'm gonna act like I don't know. So then they explain it.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
You understand where,
Exactly.
So he's using
you
it as
don't
bait.
know.
He's
Is he
baiting,
aloof?
he's
Is he,
baiting everybody all the time, and he's using it to. I mean, the character is incredible. Bailey actually pointed out that she thought
No spoilers.
No, not at all. That it had kind of a Death on the Nile vibe, obviously because there's a yacht, right? There's a boat.
So much better.
Oh, of course. But I like that we're living in a time right now where there are these books. I mean, Agatha Christie novels have been out forever, but they're making these into movies now. And then Ryan Johnson is making these. I want more of this, right? I love
the huge Agatha Christie fan. By the way. Yeah.
The whodunit stuff is fantastic. I'm here for it. Like,
and he's bringing
more.
it back and redefining it in a way that I think.
Yeah, he's
Glass Onion is that a book?
No, none of these are based.
These
on
are
books.
originals.
Yeah,
right.
None of these are based on books. And like I love what he does too is that he's setting them in a contemporary time. So they have a classic feel to them, but they're contemporary stories, and he also has them linked to like things that are happening in today's.
This is
like the
society.
pandemic
The
is
pandemic
a character.
is
exactly.
huge in his.
Idiot tech billionaires. Like this is it's all, and this was written.
Are you saying there was somebody in mind that he had for that?
No, actually, that's the thing is he didn't. Is that he wrote this before Elon Musk kind of became like the image that he has now. A lot of people are going to think, oh, he's clearly smearing Elon Musk. No, this is just something he did based on the prototypical billionaire asshole, of which there have been plenty. And Elon Musk now is just the one who fits perfectly into this bill.
So keeping it absolutely spoiler free, the overall premise of this is that Edward Norton plays a billionaire,
and he's so good.
He's
oh my
very,
gosh,
very,
I wish Edward Norton would do more stuff like this because he's so
having
good.
So much fun with the role.
When they do the flashback and he appears wearing what he wears, the reference to the Tom Cruise character. Oh my god, it's so funny.
So anyway, it's without getting into anything because I really want everybody to go out right now. Pause the podcast.
It's on Netflix.
Netflix. There's no excuse. You should watch this.
Yep.
In my opinion, it's better than the first one.
Yes,
it is. It really is. And I
don't know if I would go there. I think it's every bit as good though.
I wasn't like over the moon with the first one. I really liked it. I didn't fall in
yeah.
love
Oh
with
yeah.
it.
See, we saw that in the theater. Knives Out. I had no idea going into it. Right.
Same here.
Had no idea what to expect. I loved it. My wife said that's probably in her top 5 favorite movies.
Oh, wow.
She was blown away. Loves it every time it's on TV. We watch.
I would love to
It's a
hear
movie I watch every year for sure.
her opinion then of this one because in my opinion it is better. It's more fun in my opinion, and it also the character development. Even though the first one, Jamie Lee Curtis and Chris Evans, obviously were having a lot of fun, but this time around they feel more grounded. They feel more real. They feel I don't know. There's something about it.
No, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I was watching a couple like behind the scenes stuff today, and they were talking about how the cast got exceptionally close because they did make this during the pandemic,
Yeah,
right?
so they had to be in a bubble.
And so they had to be in a bubble. So they
Was it a glass bubble?
we were together all the time. Like we couldn't not be together. And so they said we got remarkably close, and they said they think that impacted their chemistry.
Yeah.
Obviously, the first one had great chemistry as well, so there's nothing against that. But
if you're
does
making
seem
a
to
movie
kind of-
about a group of people that are supposed to be friends, and
It was
you had
believable.
to kind of hang out with each other, you're gonna pick up on stuff, right? Like that's really cool.
The other one I saw was this is so my oldest son who's in musical theater stuff. He's a big fan of his favorite musical is Matilda the Musical, and they just released Ronald Dahl's Matilda the Musical starring Emma Thompson on
As Trunchbull.
Yeah, it's Trunchbull on Netflix. It's a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I prefer the musical. There's a couple numbers they have to cut to get it into a time that's manageable for a movie. She does great. The Matilda character is fantastic. I mean, the choreography is great. If you don't like musicals turned into films, you might not like this one.
Yeah.
But Matilda's a lot of fun. You're probably not going to like this one because it's all kids.
A lot of precocious kids.
Yeah.
Three talking dogs.
A lot of precocious British kids. And so they're.
God.
I automatically, when I talk to the Brits,
Can I
feel
have
like,
a lolly, ma'am?
You're not smarter than me, all right?
You got some crumpets, Dewey?
There's no way I'm going to finish all this chocolate cake.
Can I get some biscuits with my tea?
Do you know Matilda?
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say, because the chocolate cake is a part of that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Miss Trunchbull, there's no way that you're a woman.
Miss Honey,
Yeah, I've never seen it, so all these. I don't know if you guys. You can say pretty much anything.
Listen,
Danny DeVito,
everything
I'm taller
they're
than
saying,
you.
everything they're saying is really not in the
No, it is.
Hey, Tom Cruise, thanks for stopping by.
I don't know, Army Hammer. Tasting blood does sound strange.
But I had fun with it.
Isn't it? No?
Another one I watched is a show on Netflix called The Rookie. Did you watch that one yet?
The Dennis Quaid baseball movie?
No. Are you talking about with
mean
Nathan Fillion?
You mean The Recruit?
The Recruit, yeah. The
With-
Recruit.
oh, with,
Noah Centineo.
Yeah.
You know what? It's not perfect. I kind of enjoyed it, though. So
I don't even
When
know
I
what
saw
you're-
the
I don't know what
trailer,
you're
I
talking
thought it was a series.
it is a series.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's what I'm saying. It's a show.
exactly. Yeah.
It's a show. It is a show, but that's what I instead of watching
Brad,
movies,
Brad,
I've been
just-
watching.
Brad,
that,
real quick,
so.
can I just talk to you over here?
Yeah,
real
what's going on, Ben?
quick? Just so we invited Nate to be the third co-host like quite a while ago.
Oh, yeah.
I don't. I don't. Quite
what are you
know-
talking about?
Oh, yeah. You know what?
Guys,
One second,
hold,
Nate.
hold on,
guys.
buddy. Hold on, little
One
buddy.
second, buddy.
Why don't you go over there and have some of those Christmas
Yeah,
cookies?
yeah.
Hey guys,
What?
I gotta pee.
Why don't you think that he understands that we don't talk about shows?
Well, sometimes we do talk about shows, and I think that
But they gotta be really.
It took my brother 5 times on the show to realize they don't want to hear about the shows he watches.
well,
But here's the thing: is,
to be
here's
fair,
the thing is, here's the thing.
And you know
Hey,
what?
Not
He
a
would-
co-host.
He would force it in the
did you know that-
conversation.
He would.
I'm going to tell you. Did you know that we've actually reviewed the trailer to Andor here?
yeah, and also She-Hulk.
Hey.
And Stranger Things.
Hey,
Yeah.
Ben, shove it.
So was it? It was good. It was okay. It looked like it was gonna be okay.
It is. It's okay. It's fun. It's actually fun. Noah Centineo is actually remarkably charismatic.
He's very charming.
He brings the show. Yeah, he makes the show.
So this is a takeoff of the movie with Colin Farrell, The Recruit, and Al Pacino.
No,
No.
not really. It's kind of like an action.
he's a CIA lawyer.
Yeah.
Essentially, is the and so it's
Is it
it's-
related to that at all, though?
no.
No, but it is fun. It is. It's. I keep on watching the next episode. So,
But it's about the CIA,
Yeah,
but it's not about because that's what the movie's about.
he's a lawyer.
No, he's in the CIA and they're
Yeah,
recruiting assassins.
so he's a lawyer who is recruited by the CIA.
In the She-Hulk.
Yep.
Okay, well, hey, full circle.
all right. Hey, what did you watch this week?
I also watched Glass Onion. I watched it last night. It was fantastic, as we just discussed.
Did you watch anything else?
I watched Home Alone, actually,
Oh, first time. What'd you think?
front to back, because
Better than the Goonies.
we
Less screaming. Still some screaming, but the
No,
screaming,
no.
The screaming is funnier though.
Screaming is funnier, I will say.
Baby Roof?
That's not what he says in Home Alone. So
Did you not like the Goonies?
No, he hates it.
We had a whole conversation about this in the last episode.
I got really mad at Brad.
He watched
Because all
it.
those kids.
No, because he said that the Goonies is fine, and I'm like, no, the Goonies is great. The Goonies
Oh.
is great.
Yeah,
I
it's
said
fine.
it's good. It's
Thanks-
good.
thanks,
You know,
Luke.
you guys suck. Anyway,
When was the last time you seen Home Alone before you watched it?
I said every year watch, right?
wait, what?
When was the last time you seen Home Alone before you watched it this year?
Oh, gotcha. It's not an annual watch for me.
What?
Why
So-
do you hate Home Alone?
Uh,
Why do you
ours
hate
is
Christmas?
Our annual watches lately have been the last 3 years. I'd say have been
Showgirls?
It's a Wonderful Life, and that's it. No. A Christmas Story and Christmas Vacation. Those are the three. Listen, I don't have a lot of time.
oh, stop
Oh,
it.
jeez.
You
You
just
don't have to
stop
sit and
it.
watch them. You
Right?
just put them on in the background.
Exactly.
I don't do that though. You know I don't do that.
That's sad.
You know I don't do that.
Nate, I assume you watch almost every major Christmas movie at least once every year.
I don't sleep in December. Yes, I just have
Oh,
movies
actually,
going on
okay.
constantly.
I did. I watched a brand new Christmas movie, Nate,
What?
that I've never seen before.
What was it?
White Christmas.
Oh, what'd you think?
I loved it.
Yeah, it's lovely.
It's charming, isn't
It
it?
really is. Bing Crosby barely hits his kids in it.
and now you love the SNL sketch with Snow even more.
I got it. I understand it now.
Yeah.
When they did that scene, I was like, "Oh, son of a bit!" I really didn't
I
understand.
would have
it.
laughed more. Right?
I did. No. White Christmas is amazing. If you haven't seen White Christmas, do yourself a favor. That's a really charming movie.
You do get why those like movies have stood
Oh,
the test of time, right?
So the things that were remarked during White Christmas. Oh my! And this is not me saying these things. Bailey and my friend Liz, who were watching this. Oh my God! Look at her waist. Oh my God! Look at her waist.
My mom watched White Christmas with us, and that was exactly what she said as well.
It's like, how do you get away? The woman's waist is probably 12 inches around in diameter. It is disgustingly tiny, and it's probably amphetamines and cigarettes is all she lived on.
Well, no, it's a corset too. They're
Well,
definitely
sure.
wearing corsets.
No, she's binded, or bound. But man, it's crazy tiny, and Danny Kaye is hilarious, and Bing Crosby has a great voice, and the whole premise of the movie, it's fantastic. Go watch White Christmas, guys. Have you seen it?
Yeah, of course.
It's so
I have
good.
never seen it.
It's really good.
I understand why you would not want to see it because, again, sometimes old movies aren't great.
Especially when it comes to musicals.
Yeah.
I saw Holiday Inn.
Yeah.
I did not like that. It's not really a Christmas movie, though.
Well, it
That's
is
the one, right?
It
Where
is.
it's like
It
over the
meets
course of
our
a year or
definition-
something.
It meets
isn't
our
it?
definition of Christmas.
Yeah, it is and it
movie, but-
isn't. White Christmas is a full-on Christmas movie.
Right.
Yeah,
These
White
guys-
Christmas is better than Holiday.
Yeah,
Inn.
agreed.
These guys have a very loose definition of what a Christmas movie is.
What's your definition of a Christmas
Anything that
movie?
mentions anything about Christmas, if the word Christmas is said, if there is snow on the ground,
if there is an iteration of mistletoe, and that could be any plant that is related,
Or if a
in the
gift is given with red or green wrapping paper.
even on their birthday
now, not red and green. It has to be red or green.
or green, yeah.
If it's red and green, it's too much. No, but it's no. We like there are some movies that just have like they
Hey,
feel like
did you see the new Little Women film?
Nope.
that's not a Luke movie. No, but they have like the
You
spirit.
should. I'm telling you.
They made me watch Little Women, and because
No joke. I wanted to see it.
no, but
It's very good.
But they said it falls under a Christmas movie, and I'm watching this. There are two key scenes that happen around the Christmas time. That's it. It's not a
But
Christmas movie
there
at
are
all.
pivotal scenes and the spirit
Well,
of it.
let me pause you. Is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone a Christmas movie?
Yes. So I would say yes.
So
For
I
me,
think
it is.
I think a decent amount of the Harry Potter movies have a good Christmas vibe to them, not just because of the Christmas scenes, but just because they have a holiday feel, which is I think also why they get played a lot around the holidays too.
I agree.
So yeah, but like that's Little Women kind of falls in that thing where it
so
kind of
that's
has
what
It's
like
we're
almost like
talking
winter based.
Yeah, we're kind of talking
Yeah.
about those kind of films that aren't necessarily full Christmas movies.
but it has like a Christmas feel to it.
It doesn't. Little Women is not a Christmas movie whatsoever. I'm glad I watched it. It's not a Christmas
What about Harry Potter? The first Harry Potter.
The first Harry Potter, because it does take place with all
The third Harry Potter as well.
It takes place over
all
the
of-
whole school year.
but in the first one though,
No.
a lot of snow, a lot of like holiday
That's just
stuff.
what
you
we
are what
remember.
we call a hypocrite because this is the same.
Yeah, this is
concept.
exactly why.
Okay, a hippogriff is a fucking flying. Buckbeak is a hippogriff, and
I'll
I
give
will
it
not
to him.
stand for.
I'll give it to him. It's pretty good. Pretty good.
Don't allow it. Don't allow it.
Pretty solid reference there. Yeah, but like this, yeah, you're kind of splitting hairs.
So you're saying that a Christmas movie doesn't necessarily have to
Be a Christmas movie.
specifically mention the birth of Christ.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the
I mean,
Santa
for
Claus.
me-
The Santa
for
Claus
me,
was very
it
light
does, but
on. The Santa Claus is very light on the birth of Christ, by the way, but it's still very much a Christmas movie.
Right, Christmas themes. Because
it's films that for me feel like they're
It's a
are
feel
welcome
fact.
in that season.
fair enough.
It's a feel
Because we
fact.
went every year. We go into Chicago, and Ben and Bailey came with us last year.
Yeah,
for
we weren't
It's a
invited this
Wonderful
year.
Why
Life.
did you do that?
It's a Wonderful Life radio
show.
broadcast.
It's awesome.
Is it great?
Phenomenal.
It's so good.
Actually, this year they had private tables right next to the stage that we got to sit at.
Why wasn't I invited this year?
Oh, that's
I don't
awkward.
know.
That's
You
really
have to ask
awkward.
Christine.
Man,
You probably
Wow.
disappointed her last
But
year.
so we
You're not
we
wrong.
watch it. We go every year. It's 7 years in a row, minus pandemic year, and
I need to
love
go
it.
to this.
it is, Nate. It is fantastic.
It's very impressive.
They're putting on an old timey radio broadcast behind the scenes for you, and it just happens to be It's a Wonderful Life, and it's so good.
and everyone's nude.
Yeah, including the audience, which is top notch.
And that's why I wasn't invited back this year.
It's a bit of a burlesque show.
But on the way home, I thought, obviously it's a Christmas movie, right? But is there any Christmas themes?
In It's a
Like,
Wonderful
granted,
Life.
they talk like, "Oh, Merry Christmas, movie house," and all that.
Yeah.
But other than that,
Yeah.
I mean, well, that's
technically,
It could very easily
wouldn't have
not be a
worked,
Christmas movie.
but it would.
Yeah.
I don't think it would work as well.
But because it fits
in the summer.
it fits the Christmas spirit.
because
right?
Right.
Christmas
Yeah.
is a time for reflection and
Yeah,
a time
exactly.
for thinking about
Redemption.
redemption.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, quick note: remember, George Bailey's running after he comes back, and he's "Merry Christmas, movie house," and
Yeah.
"Merry Christmas."
your savings and loan.
My wife insisted that he yelled "Merry Christmas, Boobie house," to the point we were arguing. And I
Like,
said, "Why would he say Boobie house?"
Because George Bailey
there's
loves
triple X.
the horse.
Because sex workers are people too, and they deserve a good Christmas.
She confused. She was remembering Pottersville, where it was all the triple X, right? And then I'm like, it says movie. He says
Movie house?
movie,
Oh,
and she
that's-
goes, "No, look at." And so I had to turn on the subtitles.
I love that you start. These are the married arguments you get into, where it's like, I'm not talking to you for the rest of the
No,
night.
it's not Booby House. It is.
No joke. Closed captioning. Watch it. And she, you know what she says? Well, those aren't always 100% right.
Oh boy.
Oh,
I wish
my
he
God.
did say Merry Christmas, Boobie
Merry
House,
Christmas,
though.
Boobie House.
Amazing.
That's a great SNL.
Every time,
Yeah.
every time I drive by Deja Vu, I'm gonna say Merry Christmas,
Merry
Boobie
Christmas,
House.
Boobie House. Do the same at Hooters.
No, Ben.
Stop.
Hooters is
Just-
a restaurant.
Yeah,
All right.
enough.
It's like an eating establishment.
Yeah,
You push that
geez,
too
it's a
far.
family restaurant.
You push that way too
How
far.
did I lose
You know
I
what?
lost you on
There was a
Hooters?
line.
Yeah.
There was
With
a
over
line.
400 nationwide locations.
If you would have said something
It's just
Tilted
like-
Kilt or Twin Peaks, then that'd be different.
What's
different.
Twin Peaks?
Twin Peaks is like a Hooters or a
Sounds
Tilted
delicious.
Actually, it's got some pretty good food. I'm not gonna lie.
no. The food is good.
Hey guys, did we watch any trailers this week or no?
We God, Brad, we watched like 9 trailers,
Yeah, absolutely.
but we're gonna talk about 2 of them.
yes,
And the first one is The Good Wife.
yeah, The Good Wife.
What was it called again?
There's no TV shows talked about on this podcast.
it's called A Good Person. It is a new movie directed by Zach Braff, who previously directed Garden State and
An episode of Scrubs.
Oh,
Sure.
Wish I was there and recently going.
Which
in
I was
style.
here.
Wish I was here.
Yeah, going outside with which is like the old man heist movie
Yeah,
with Alan Arkin
with-
and Morgan Freeman.
Let's forget about Going in Style. He directed Garden State, and he directed what was the other one?
Wish I Was Here.
Wish
Which
He was
was
also
a
in
crowdfunded
Scrubs.
film, I think, right?
Yes.
He was also he played JD
He
in
also-
Scrubs
He's also on T-Mobile commercials.
with
Yes.
Donald Faison.
That's
he also
true.
directed an episode or 2 of Ted Lasso and got like a nomination for it. For
Yes.
a Golden
He's
Globe,
a very
I think.
talented director.
He's a good director. He's been doing more TV recently, but this is his return to feature films. And it is a movie starring Florence Pugh, who he dated. I don't know if they're still dating.
No, they
They
broke
broke
up
up?
at the beginning of this year, but they did it for 3 years.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
buddy?
For you and Zach Braff?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Zach Braff and Morgan Freeman. And Nate, why don't you tell him what it's about?
So it's years after being in an accident. So Morgan Freeman's son is engaged to be married to Florence Pugh, from what I can gather from the trailer anyway. And there's an accident, and her future sister-in-law dies in the accident. And it essentially seems to be telling the story of 2 people dealing with their grief who find each other, essentially.
Yeah.
You know, Florence Pugh seems to be spiraling with prescription drugs, these kind of things. And Morgan Freeman is, I couldn't tell this, and I don't know because they don't really mention this, also seems to be dealing with the loss of maybe his wife as well, because they mention, you know, she used to love coming down here, these kind of things. But also, there seems to be a subtlety in the trailer that after the accident, his relationship with his son is fractured as well.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because of his alcoholism or what he has going on.
It
but-
seems to be a lot of broken people
which is what Zach Braff does.
trying to
Yeah.
come back together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
which is what Zach Braff does, right? And Wish I Was Here, in Garden State, people trying to navigate these complicated relationships together,
Yeah.
right? I tell you this, what Zach Braff does in every film, even in the bad films, Wish I Was Here was not great, puts a freaking great soundtrack
The
together.
man knows soundtracks.
Yeah.
He
and
really
the trailer has a great soundtrack.
Yeah,
So-
it's a great musical taste. Yeah, this looks a little sappy. You know, a little.
it feels a bit saccharine and it feels a bit dated.
Yeah, like it feels like a movie that maybe would have come out like
3 years after Garden State,
Yeah, kind of. I don't
you
know.
know?
It doesn't look terrible, but it feels a little heavy-handed. I guess.
I will say there was a couple things about this trailer that stuck out a little different to me. Is again Florence Pugh, right? I mean, put her in something, and I want to see it because she is a very talented actress.
Mhm.
But also, there was more comedy in here than I thought. There was a couple times when we watched this that I actually laughed.
Yeah, laughed
Morgan
out loud.
Freeman. Morgan Freeman has some lines in there that are really genuinely funny.
Absolutely.
And so there could be something there. Again, it teeters on. Is this a bigger budget Hallmark film, or is this going to say something a little
it's a
bit
bit
different?
schmaltzy.
But so is Garden State, honestly.
Luke, what did
Yeah,
you think,
so-
buddy?
I didn't realize it took place years after
Mm.
the accident, so that's top notch on my detective list. It looks like I feel the same way, almost like I wonder if we could guess exactly what's going to happen.
Right.
Like obviously she's struggling, Morgan Freeman's struggling. Then there's obviously something going on between Morgan Freeman and his son, and they're all trying to navigate it, right? And
She
then-
takes over the train set at the end of the movie. And it's just her,
Right? Well-
Conductor Pugh.
Yeah, because maybe again, I'm not
You're not a Hollywood-
100%.
You're not a Hollywood
100%.
screenwriter.
I'm not gonna watch it.
The reason I probably will
At
watch
least in
it
the theater. I
is-
won't go to
I
the
won't
theater.
go to the theater probably.
Oh,
but
I'll
the
see it
reason-
twice in theaters.
Nate, is
reason
it because it's a Christmas movie?
No, it's not a Christmas movie.
Well, you don't know that. They
is-
might unwrap a red present.
I do like Morgan Freeman. I do like Florence Pugh, and I do like Molly Shannon. And to have them in a vehicle together here,
Well,
in
the
film,
vehicle causes the car crash.
seems like it's worth watching.
Speaking of Molly Shannon, have you seen the movie Other People?
No, I don't think
No,
so.
it's been on. I don't remember if Netflix bought it or if it's just been on Netflix for a while. But it was a movie that played at Sundance back in 2016. It's directed by Chris Kelly. You know who Chris Kelly is, right?
No.
You should, because he's one of the creators of the Other Two, Nate,
Okay.
Well, also a Molly Shannon vehicle.
and he also is a writer on Saturday Night Live.
Okay. Yep, I do know who Chris Kelly.
Yeah,
Is.
yeah. So, so he's a guy who has a big, kind of like place in comedic history for us. But he wrote and directed this movie, Other People, and it's really good. It follows Jesse Plemons, who is a comedy writer, and he comes home, and he finds out that his mom has cancer, and so it's just
I avoided that like the plague just because I didn't want to feel.
It's honestly so good though, because it does have like some comedy in it because it's Chris Kelly. Like it has great like jokes in it.
Did
and,
you like 50-50?
Yes,
I like.
So is it
50-50 a lot.
is it good like 50-50?
Yes,
Like, is it
absolutely.
Like, really funny like
absolutely.
Okay.
It's not. I don't know. It's been a little while since I've seen it. I don't remember if it's quite as funny as 50-50, but it's
There's
that,
jokes.
But
in
it's that,
50-50.
yeah, but it's that same kind of vibe.
Okay.
There is some really funny stuff in it, especially because Jesse Plemons is great, Molly Shannon is great. It's definitely it's a tearjerker. It pulls your heartstrings, but it is also very funny.
All right, fair enough. All right, fair enough.
Yeah. So yeah, okay. So we watched the material for a good person. When does it come out, Nate?
Scheduled release on March 24th, 2023.
There you go. The other trailer that we watched,
Cabin in the Woods.
that's not what it's called.
Well,
Knocking on the cabin.
Knocking on
in
the cabin.
woods.
It's a sequel to Cabin in the Woods.
No.
It stars-
Why do you do that? Why? What?
Why are you the way you are?
Yeah. What is funny about being an idiot?
Luke, can I talk to you very quick?
Yeah.
So this is what I'm talking about. Like ever since you guys have not been on the podcast for a while, it's been like this. Okay, I've got these two chuckle pucks. What are you guys and
They just don't like humor.
thank you. Okay, okay. You know what? Let's
It's
go
very
back
frustrating.
in. Let's go back in.
Nate, can I talk to you real quick?
Yeah. What's up?
Isn't Ben a fucking idiot?
I can hear you. You didn't even tell me to leave the room.
We watched the trailer for
He
Knock.
literally said it looking at you.
He did. He stared me down and he was like, "Eat the candy cane."
We watched
So-
the trailer for Knock at the Cabin, which is a new movie from M. Night Shyamalan. This is the second trailer that has come out for this movie. The first one
No one saw.
left a little bit more mystery.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of set. The premise is this group of 4 people, including Dave Bautista and Ron Weasley. They show up at this cabin where there's a couple and their daughter, and they show up in kind of a very ominous way, and they tell them that they're going to have to make the decision to sacrifice someone in their family in order to stop the end of the world. It's one of those things where it sounds like a bunch of crazy people are doing some crazy shit, and it's like, what the hell is going on? What's interesting is this trailer would seem to, at the very least, strongly imply that the premise is true.
Yeah.
And that if this family doesn't sacrifice them, every single time they say no to sacrificing the family, some terrible event happens somewhere in the world and kills a bunch of people.
Yeah. And I won't give I have, so this is based on a book that came out in 2019.
No spoilers.
And I won't give spoilers, but like you said, there are 4 people, and those 4 people don't know each other. I'll
Right.
say that. All right. So they don't know each
They
other.
make that clear in this one, too.
Yeah. Okay. Just to make sure that
And they don't look like each other at all.
And so they find each other because they've been given this vision, right?
Right.
And so it is the whole book is, or the whole story is playing on this. What if they're right, but also what if they're wrong?
Yeah.
And would you, if you could save the whole of humanity, kill someone in your family?
Yes.
Ben, who would it be in your family?
Me. Just as a sweet release.
Yeah. It kind of.
Before the question even comes out, it's like, me.
If they knock on the door, the gun's already to my temple. I'm just waiting for them. What's the reason? I'll believe it.
Oh, it's just the Amazon guy. Don't worry.
And I uncock the gun. No.
But no, it seemed like, based on the first trailer, the premise was going to be like, okay, so like, A, how do you get out of this? B, is there any potential like that they are telling the truth? This kind of like seems to remove any sort of doubt, and now it takes kind of like the same premise of the box.
The box, right?
Where of like, if you push this button, someone somewhere in the world will die, but you get $1 million.
And then you hit it immediately.
There is a twist in there that the trailers do not get
Of course.
that I'm excited for you guys to see.
M. Night Shyamalan, so of course there's a twist.
I'm just
Now the
saying,
question though, because you said it's a book, right?
Yep.
So obviously there's a twist in the book.
Yep.
Is it the same twist?
Is Shyamalan gonna do an added twist on that twist?
Maybe, but
that would be annoying.
the twist I'm talking about.
But you never know unless you read the book.
The
the
twist I'm talking about is
I'm
an
going to
important
library
plot
tomorrow.
point. An important plot point that I think he's got to include in there, but that doesn't mean he won't do another twist on top of that. And I'll say this: it can end. He can make some, I think, decisions on how it ends. Because again, it is an interpretive decision on how it ends. It leaves some things open. So
cool. Yeah, no, I'm excited to see this. Maybe even more so after this trailer, because like I was kind of floored when they showed that like, oh, they're not joking. Like,
right,
they're not just crazy.
Like in the trailer,
it's
got
not the village.
What?
I said it's not it's not the village. Remember?
It's not the village.
Because the village, it was all fake.
Yeah, but they weren't crazy.
I mean, they just
Well, they were in on it.
They believed something that wasn't true.
Speaking of,
Yeah, but they chose to like make a world for themselves. Like they weren't like buying into like.
But they were trying to make other people buy in.
Well,
The blind girl.
speaking of the Village, guys, I looked up some of M. Night Shyamalan's movies.
he's done some.
You haven't heard of him before?
No. And I wanted to do a little bit here, and I want you guys to pick here. All right?
Mhm.
Kind of like a March Madness thing with M. Night Shyamalan. We're going to pick his favorite movie based on what you guys think.
His
My
movie?
favorite movie.
Or your favorite movie of his. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
All right. So what I'm going to do is, for instance,
what are we doing?
I'm going to say, no, here's
It's
for instance.
games time with
It's not really a
Ben
game,
and Brad
it's a
and Nate and Luke, and we're here playing games with
No,
Nate.
you brought the guys. You still have a game.
Nope.
So,
No game. This is the game. Good job, buddy.
All right. So, for instance, I'm going to say, just like in March Madness, you're going to put the highest rated Rotten Tomatoes movie against the lowest rated. Like, in March Madness, they
Sure.
put the highest rated team 16
Gotcha.
versus 1.
Sure.
Right? So, we're going to do the highest rated to lowest rated. and
Brad,
then-
March Madness is
Yep.
a basketball tournament in March.
With 68 teams, even though you think you'll be 64.
Why is everyone so angry
There's
about
a
it?
play-in game.
It's because IU made the playing game and they were bad.
All right. Let's start with this one. The Sixth Sense.
Number one.
versus The Last Airbender. Which one is your favorite out of
Oh,
those two?
God.
This is Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
Airbender all the way.
All right. The Sixth Sense wins that one. Next one, Signs, came out in 2002 versus The Happening, which came out in 2008. We'll start with you.
Marky Mark played a teacher. Come on.
Why are you even hesitating? This is not.
Oh wait, The Happening. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's Signs.
Yeah, it's Signs. The Happening. I forgot. I
love
had that-
Brad. Why
I
are
was-
you even hesitating?
I was
Why-
thinking
why
of
are
The
you-
Visit.
I'm waiting for this game to get good, which it will.
My fault.
Yep. The Visit. We'll
That's
start with you, Ben.
Yep.
The Visit versus Glass.
The Visit.
Brad.
Yeah, The Visit.
That's the only. I didn't see the other, so I'll take The Visit.
Okay.
It's good. You should, by the way. It's
All right.
really good.
Let's start
Glass?
with Brad.
No, I saw The Visit.
Glass.
Oh, you
is
said
weird.
the sorry.
Glass is weird.
Unbreakable versus Lady in the Water.
Unbreakable.
Unbreakable.
As a defender of Lady in the Water, I will still say Unbreakable. Because it's the way better movie.
All right, Luke, I'll go with you here. The Village versus Old that came out in 2021.
I never saw Old, so
Okay.
I have to go with The Village.
All right.
I'm going with The Village.
I really liked Old, but I will say The Village because when I watched it in the theater, I still really liked it.
Here's an interesting thing about that is you guys picked the underdog on that one. The Village is only 43%, whereas Old has a 50% Rotten Tomatoes score. All right, let's move on.
And I was one of the ones that liked it.
Brad, we'll go with you. Split 2016 versus After Earth in 2013.
Split.
Split. Split's
All right.
tremendous.
Now it'll start getting interesting. All right, we're going to go with The Sixth Sense versus Signs. We'll start with you.
Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense.
All right.
But Signs is great.
Well, no, it's not because you didn't pick it. All right. We're going to go here with The Visit 2015 film versus Unbreakable 2000 film. Let's start with you, Starkey.
I would go with Unbreakable.
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 All right.
I like that he's filling out the bracket for us.
Yeah, I am. Let's go with The Village versus Split. We'll start with you, Ben.
Split.
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 All right. Moving on. All right, we're gonna go with the Split versus Unbreakable.
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 Split.
All right, Unbreakable
Ooh.
wins. All right, we're gonna go with the Sixth Sense versus Unbreakable. We'll go with Brad.
Unbreakable.
Oof. Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense.
Ooh, that was a close one. But yes, Sixth Sense wins, which is the top Rotten Tomatoes score on Rotten Tomatoes. So it is. So the Sixth Sense is number 1, 86%. Number 2 is Split at 78%, followed by Signs at 75%, Unbreakable at 70%.
I think that Unbreakable is underrated.
It was ahead of its time.
It was no, and not only because it was ahead of its time, but
It came out in 2000. It's old now.
It's almost like the same people that had a problem with Us after Get Out. It's like, it's not the same thing that I wanted to have from the guy.
It's a good point.
Unbreakable is so fucking
It's
good. It's
really good.
Yeah.
I've only seen it once, and that was obviously in 2000. I got to rewatch it.
It's so we actually just did last year. Bailey and I just watched it. My God, there's so much to do in that movie, like to chew on. It's really.
It's
good.
funny though.
I remember really liking it.
You said you like Lady in the Water. I did too.
I was a defender of it.
I am a defender of it.
I
as well.
really like
I think
that
it's
movie.
actually a fine film.
I don't mind
I don't think it's his best
not
film, but it's
great.
a fine film.
But I also like movies. I do really like movies that take chances like that.
Yeah.
I like it.
And I think again, because Sixth Sense was such a groundbreaking film, that there was. I worry about this a little bit with Jordan Peele because again, with Nope and things like that, and people are like,
It's not the same.
fine,
Yeah,
it's fine, but it's not. And it's like, no,
Let
these
him
are
be a
still
filmmaker.
Very good.
Let him
films,
be a
right?
filmmaker. Don't be
So,
weird.
And when you get pigeonholed into a genre or into a thing that
Or is it in
you
a
have to
genre?
do as a director, right? And I worry about that with him because again, he's such a talented film director and people are dumb.
Let's do this thing that we talked about, kind of as a way to end the year, if you will. We're gonna do our next episode. We're gonna talk about our favorite films of 2022. But one of the things that we wanted to do here, since we didn't assign any movies to have like a longer conversation, is a little while back there was an update of what it's called the Sight and Sound list of the all-time greatest films. It's something that is done by a British film magazine where they basically pick what they think are the best movies of all time. They've done it for a while now, and they update the list every 10 years. So whenever they do it, it's kind of a big thing in the film community. And so people like to talk about it. And they one of the things they do in the magazine is they reach out to a bunch of different filmmakers, and they ask each filmmaker to give their list of what their own best all-time top 10 films are. And so it's meant to be a little more personal. It's not necessarily meant to be like, what do you objectively think are the best films of all time? It's like, what do you think?
This. Yeah, exactly.
What do you think the best films of all time
So
are?
there's a bit of what you think are great films, but also some of your favorite, right?
Yeah. And so just to give you a taste of like how this list is, the top 10 movies on this list this year that they updated it. Number 10 is Singing in the Rain. Number 9 is Man with a Movie Camera. Number 8 is Mulholland Drive. Number 7 is Beau Travail. I guess that's how you pronounce that.
Oh, you haven't seen that?
No. Have you seen it? Oh, okay. I wouldn't be surprised if you had. You're sometimes you're seasoned in certain films.
It's a Christmas movie, so I can't believe you haven't seen it.
2001: A Space Odyssey at number 6. In the Mood for Love at number 5. Tokyo Story at number 4. Citizen Kane number 3. Vertigo number 2. And a movie that I had never heard of until it somehow ended up at the top of this list. Jeannie Dielman, 23, Quoi du Comer. 1080 Bruegel. Is that how you pronounce that word?
Yep.
That's actually in Ben's as well. He's got that.
That was that. Well, it's my number 2, but
yeah. So that's a 1975 movie. So those are the
So
ones.
how
that
many of those films, Ben, made it into your top 10 list?
the British Film Institute picked these. So it's a little bit more British and stuffy than maybe the AFI would have been.
British and not as good. Yeah.
No. I'm actually currently looking for my screenshot of the.
No, I
list
have
that
mine
sent
up
you.
now.
There's a way to just look at only the images in our
I did
text
that.
thread.
Hold on 1 second.
In the meantime, I'll talk about mine.
Go for it.
So we've talked before. I think we mentioned on this podcast that I have a top 5 that is fairly unflinching, and it kind of fluctuates depending on what I've seen more recently and how I'm feeling on a given day. So my top 5 that maybe some of you listeners out there are already familiar with, and this is what they were listed at when I made this list. So my personal Sight and Sound top 10. Number 1, Back to the Future. Number 2, Ghostbusters. Number 3, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Number 4, Empire Strikes Back. And number 5, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Now, the next 5 hasn't really been discussed extensively, and I had to, actually try to figure this out. So my number 6 movie is The Social Network. Number 7 is...
You love that movie.
I love that movie.
It's a great movie.
Number 7 is Young Frankenstein. Number 8 is Best in Show. Number 9 is When Harry Met Sally. And number 10 is Some Like It Hot. The classic comedy with Marilyn Monroe, Jack Lemmon, and Tony Curtis. How about you, Chuckle Fucks?
I think he's talking to you, Ben.
I'm not a chuckle fuck.
Well,
let it go on record.
No. So my top, the Sight and Sound top 10 for Ben Conowitz. Number 1, Predator.
boo.
Number 2.
You really think that's one of the top 10 films of all time?
Again, this is like Ghostbusters isn't either. If you're
Bite your tongue.
if you're talking,
If we did a poll,
it's all
if we did a poll,
hold on.
if we did a poll,
No, hold on.
If we asked 10 random people, which movie do you think probably belongs on a list of
Neither.
all-time greatest movies? No,
Neither.
you would definitely get more people
No.
saying Ghostbusters than Predator.
Neither. It would be.
If you have to pick one or the other,
it would be the Sight and Sound list that you just read
Well,
off.
those
All the
British
fucking
people-
bullshit.
No, a random
It'd be-
person.
It would be.
You ask them
it
which
would be
one,
Citizen Kane, and it would be The
No,
Godfather.
I'm saying,
He's saying
no,
other two.
idiot. I'm saying which one makes more sense.
Yeah,
He's saying-
that's why it's
Ghostbusters.
neither.
All right, all right, stop.
But that's why neither of them
Move
matter.
on.
what was your
Move
number
on.
1 again?
That's why neither of them matter. That's
It
what
was
I'm saying.
Kindergarten
because
Cop.
it's personal to you.
Commando.
So it doesn't matter.
It was Kindergarten Cop was number 1. Go.
What I'm saying is Predator and Ghostbusters have equal
Number
weight
1 is Predator.
on
They don't.
any top 10 list because
They don't.
Number 2
they're
is Predator.
never gonna
2.
make-
They don't.
they're never going to make
Number
the top
3
10
is
list, Brad. They're just
The
never gonna
Predator.
And then Predator vs. Alien.
Number 4 is Hunt.
Listen, I just don't understand.
No, Prey. That's what it's called. Prey.
Prey is great.
If you say these are the top 10 best movies ever made, and then here's my favorite movies. So,
I thought that's what this is.
exactly.
It is,
So
but
why
that's
does
why
my
we like
favorite movie?
we like to push his buttons.
Why does my favorite movie have less weight than your favorite movie? I
Because
just don't
we
get
like
it.
to push his buttons.
I don't understand.
All right, go on.
It's
Move
not
on.
really fair. I don't want to anymore. Like you just fucking suck. Like, I deserve just as much credit for that movie. It's a great action movie.
It is a great movie.
I don't know if you deserve just as much
Oh,
credit, but-
jeez.
It's fine. What
right.
about you, Nate? I don't want to do it. No, fuck it. It doesn't matter. My movies suck, so it doesn't
No,
matter.
I want to hear the
Fuck
rest.
off. I don't give a shit.
Predator's a great movie.
I want to hear the rest.
The problem was you made the wrong comparison. Is to say that Ghostbusters doesn't belong on
Yeah,
an
obviously
all-time.
Back to the Future doesn't belong.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. What do you mean? The Citizen Kane of talking dog movies?
What?
That's look.
By the way,
Look who's talking now.
I like to make fun of Ben a little bit before we get to my list because my list is insane. It's not nearly
No,
as good
it's
as these guys.
it's Predator, 12 Angry Men, Monty Python and the Holy Grail,
12 Angry Men is very good. You made me watch that, and I really enjoyed it.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid,
The old one.
Dumb and Dumber, Terminator 2, The Thing, Jurassic Park, Unforgiven, and Alien.
I have not seen The Thing. I need to watch that.
You haven't
It's
seen?
incredible.
No, you need to sign
Seen?
it. You haven't seen. You need to sign that to me.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
It's incredible. It takes place.
It's a Christmas movie.
because there's snow, so and there's a lot of red. So you're good.
It's a really good Christmas movie.
all right.
I would put The Thing on an all-time list before I would put Predator on the all-time list.
Yeah, but you don't. You know he loves Predator. You know that.
I know that's why I have to. I have to bust his balls.
It is a favorite.
Yep.
Mixed with good. Not
Yeah,
just,
exactly. It can't just be a bad film. But
But that's
all right.
why it's bad that he put Predator at the top of the list.
all right, the films I picked are the first. Well, again, these aren't for me 1 through 10. These are just 10 films I picked because I couldn't.
You have to
rate them.
rank them.
No.
Yeah.
No, all right.
We ranked them.
Yeah, that's actually a ranking.
Yeah.
All right. I'll just give you the names. You can rank them then. The Shawshank Redemption.
10.
I love the Shawshank Redemption.
That's 5.
Lord of the Rings.
Wait, wait, hold on. I love this because we don't know what I can't remember. So I'm just like haphazardly throwing numbers. 10, 2, 4.
Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. It's a Wonderful Life.
One thing I want to say about Lord of the Rings, whenever I have to rank it, I can't. I can easily split up the Star Wars movies. Lord of the Rings,
hard.
I have to consider
It
as
is
one
hard.
thing.
Yep.
Like
I like Return of the King just slightly better, but I agree when I picked that, it was because of
It's the trilogy. Yeah, it's the same. It's the same reason Return of the King won all those Oscars. Like it didn't win it just for Return of the King. It won it because the entire trilogy is an incredible motion picture achievement.
All right, and then I think you guys don't like this as much as I do. The Prestige. I really love the Prestige.
I like the Prestige.
Then Good Will Hunting.
I'm more of an illusionist guy.
No, you're not.
Gregory Peck's To Kill a Mockingbird. I love that film. Have you seen that film?
I have not.
I actually like Tyler Perry's To Kill a Mockingbird more.
Medea's
I'd say
Mockingbird.
Medea's, yeah. Then the Royal Tenenbaums. I know you guys aren't big fans.
I
love
like
the
that.
Royal
I know.
Tenenbaums.
Now I've just realized what we need to do into the new year is we just assign each other the movies on our top 10 list
That we
other people
haven't seen. Yeah,
that's
a good idea.
Of course.
Little Miss Sunshine. I
great
love
movie.
Little Miss Sunshine. Of Gods and Men, you guys honestly probably have not seen this. It's a French film. It is one of the most meaningful films I've ever seen. I love this film. It is about a monastery in a war-torn, I think, Algeria. And the film is about these monks who are trying to decide, do they stay and die? It's based on a true story. Do they stay and die with the people they love, or do they get out of there and essentially flee for safety? Because the people that they love, the people they're serving, are going to get killed by this kind of terrorist organization. But it's a beautiful film.
That reminds me of a movie that you probably haven't seen that kind of has a similar premise.
Predator 2.
Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
I was going to say, I'm going to make the joke before you can about my stupid movie.
And then finally, again, I know I'm the only one that likes animated films here, Ratatouille.
Ugh, he's not even close. Ben doesn't like animated movies.
What the fuck are you talking about? Like,
Why do
what is wrong with you? Why do you always do this to me? I am not an idiot. I am not racist. I like animated movies. Like
Brad,
I like good movies.
Hold on.
Brad,
let's back up to the beginning of the list. Let's start with number one. I'm
Parse
not an
this out a
idiot.
little
I'm
bit.
not an idiot. Go on.
I'm not an idiot.
Make your case.
I'm not racist. I'm not. I don't hate animated films. I don't hate musicals.
Well,
I don't. You guys just make these up about me.
Why do you hate Ratatouille?
I don't hate it. It's just like if that's on your top 10 list, then you're kind of dumb.
no, it's not
All
even
right.
really true. Ratatouille is
Predator versus Ratatouille. Which one?
Ratatouille all the way. I would put most of the Pixar filmography above the original Predator.
What is your favorite Pixar film?
Probably Inside Out.
Okay, that was a close one for me.
Yeah,
but
for a long
do
time,
you like Ratatouille?
love Ratatouille.
Yeah,
For-
The
it's-
Incredibles was your-
Ratatouille is probably top 5. The Incredibles was my favorite for a long
Long
time.
Really?
Until
But-
Inside Out came out. That was
but
Brad's
but
favorite.
more recently, Inside Out has like as I've
Just emotionally, that
yeah,
one?
it's just like The Incredibles is a little bit it has great emotional core. The family stuff
Yep.
is awesome. It's a little bit more basic as far as like the storytelling is concerned. Inside Out, I feel like really digs into like some
Emotions.
more complex stuff, like just the way it like personifies the emotions, and it tells the story both inside Riley's head and Riley herself. I really like the juxtaposition of those two different settings, and
he's
just the way it's,
he's so happy. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but Lewis Black, you're never gonna believe this, plays anger. It's just
what?
It's so. It's just. It's almost. It is. It's stunt casting. It's pretty bad.
This is a great idea, though. We'll take these lists. I'm going to assign you Ratatouille.
I've seen it. I love it.
yeah, but you haven't seen it more than once probably, and you haven't seen it since it came out.
Actually, no, you're actually right.
Yeah.
But no, Up is a better film. Is not Up the better?
I love Up. I love Up.
Here's the thing: the first 10 minutes of
Yeah,
Up
5.
are is it 5?
Yeah.
The opening of Up is one of the best sequences ever put to animation.
Agreed.
The rest of the movie is
or
pretty.
I'd be talking in film. It is a very.
The rest of the
good-
movie is pretty good. I think it kind of gets a little bit too zany with
Yep.
like the adventure stuff,
No,
and kind of
the-
gets silly, and it doesn't
Luke's got
really.
a talking dog.
It doesn't.
Oh, I've seen Up numerous times.
I'm with you, Brett. I get lost a little bit in
Yeah.
the middle of the
Yeah.
Also, just so we're clear, the dog itself is not doing the talking. It's
yeah,
the
that's
invention.
true. It's,
So
and it's a device
that's
that translates
allowed.
his thoughts into dialogue. That
Also,
makes more sense.
I feel like you guys just aren't picking the Toy Stories because they're just Toy Story. But those are the best.
No,
of the Pixar.
Toy Stories are great.
No, Toy Story is great. Yeah, no, absolutely. The Toy Story movies are fantastic.
I'm impressed that you've seen Toy Story.
I mean, like Toy Story 3 has one of the most jarring emotional.
I'm not going to lie to
Absolutely.
you. Watched it with my daughter, who was probably 2 or 3 at the time, and I sobbed.
Of
Yeah.
course.
And my daughter
Because
was
you're
trying
not-
to
They make you
console
think
me.
they're going
You're
to kill a
not-
group of toys.
And my
You're
daughter
not a
was
monster.
literally like that because she hadn't seen me cry that much. Because I wasn't just like a tear coming out. I was literally like, like sobbing. And my 3-year-old daughter's like, Dad, are you okay?
Yeah, and you took off your shoe and your sock, and you had Andy tattooed on the bottom of your foot, and it got weird.
No, that film still gets me.
Yeah.
Not even that's not the only one, right? Where he says goodbye to his toys.
Yeah, when he plays them for the last time.
Yeah, I still think about toys I had as a kid.
Yeah, that's it.
So-
Pixar's very good at drawing out the emotions.
It is so good.
All right, what's the last movie you saw, buddy?
Oh, boy. So those were our all-time list. Luke, do you have an all-time favorite
Yeah, thanks
movie?
for letting me know to bring that.
Well,
Brad really threw this together last minute.
You're Ben's guest, and
and also to be fair, we talked
Luke,
about it.
Get my cell phone. I'll include you
Right.
in next time.
Luke,
okay?
we talked about this last night, and Ben didn't tell you.
That's all right. I would put.
Guys.
Yeah, what are some of your?
Let me
favorite
think. Braveheart is on there.
films? Okay, yeah, great. Film.
The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. That was a big one growing up.
That's great.
Predator.
No, Predator's not on there. That's no.
It's okay.
What about Alien?
Alien versus Predator?
Yeah.
Cowboys versus Aliens.
Bye, everybody.
Obviously.
Bye.
What else would I have on there? I would have to think about it. I mean, a lot of what, like Shawshank, that's obviously an all-time classic, but I don't know if I'll put it on my all-time top
It's
10.
hard to not though when you start looking at films. Like I've seen this film so many times.
That's my issue.
And
I would start seeing a
Yep.
list. I'm like, ooh, I would add that.
Yep.
Oh,
It is
I would
hard.
add that.
It's really hard to bump things.
Yeah.
And then
it's
you
a
have
top
to start
10.
creating your own criteria of like what film is, if it's on, do you not stop watching? Right?
Yeah, but then it turns into, is that counted as your top 10 or is it just really rewatchable?
Yeah, I know it is. It
Oh,
is.
you know,
I take into
I would
account.
put-
I take into account rewatchability.
I would
Yeah,
put
I do too.
Thor Ragnarok would probably be on there.
If
is a great
rewatchability
film,
is
by the
on
way.
there, then I would have to include John Wick in my top 10 now.
Yeah.
Because I
But
literally will
it's not
watch
the
it every
only
single time.
thing.
yeah,
in
it's
that.
like it shouldn't be like the
No,
main
no.
determining factor, but like
It was
I
part of
consider
it.
a variety of things, and rewatchability is one of them. Like if it's a movie that I find myself like drawn to over and over again.
It's for me, Good Will Hunting. I watch it every time. There's
Yeah.
that scene where they're in the bar, where again the whole idea. Again, we're from like hillbilly Indiana, and this whole idea that we're not as good as other people from smarter places. I just love that idea where somebody comes up and they are just as good as everyone else.
There are, I think the problem is there are countless movies that are 9 out of 10s for
Yep.
us all.
Mhm.
And you're really sussing out the 10 out of 10s
Yep.
compared to the 9 out of 10s. And it's really hard because there's so many. And so then so I talked to these guys, Luke, about, if I was able to do genre based, right? Comedy, drama, thriller, horror, whatever. And you do 5 of each, I think that I would have a tough time doing that because I don't have a fifth one for a lot of those categories. In the horror genre, I can pick like my top 3. I don't need a 4 or 5. But in my top 10, man, I need 20. It's really hard.
I would love to hear though from our listeners. Where can they do these lists again? Do you remember the link or no?
Oh, I mean, there's no like you mean to see the lists
Or you.
What's the easiest way you put together
Yeah.
your Sight and Sound where you had the movie
Because
poster?
we went to the same.
I mean,
place.
I use Letterboxd to put my
Okay,
my
yeah,
list together. Yeah.
but it was fun. You don't have to do that, but I would love to hear from some of our listeners as well. If you have a top
if
10,
you give
let
a
us
shit,
know.
you go
Yeah.
to Letterboxd, you put in your top 10 films.
Or if you want to just type out your list,
Yeah.
one
that-
through 10.
you go to Letterboxd and you create the list and then take a screenshot and then you upload it to Google Drive and then you take the drive link
boy.
and then you
That's not
post
true.
it.
That's not true.
No,
Yeah, just type out your list, guys.
Yep.
Put it on.
But I would love to hear that because again, so much of my best films are also emotionally resonant films for me. They mean something to me. And
we're gonna throw it out on Go Flix Yourself on the Facebook page and we're gonna list in the comments. Brad is gonna comment, Nate and me.
we'll put our
and
list
maybe
on there.
Luke.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll put one together.
10,
Yeah,
10
put one
and
together,
then
Luke.
we'll comment ours and then we would like you to comment below what your top 10.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
And again, these are not the best films of all time. These are also
They
not
do need to be good films.
these
but-
are not only your favorite films, but these are kind of a mix of like,
Yep.
man, these are really good films that are also in my favorite wheelhouse.
Yeah, and
Like-
as a bonus, let us know whether it's Ghostbusters or Predator that should end up on
Or
the
Ratatouille.
all-time greatest.
Or
list.
Ratatouille.
Ratatouille every time.
Yeah.
Ratatouille.
Fuck, Mary, Kill. I would I would fuck Ratatouille because that rat's got it going on,
Oof.
and I would marry Predator, and I would kill Ghostbusters.
On that note,
Bye, everybody. Bye. No. Where can the people find you? Brad,
I'm on the internet.
Nate.
I'm on Elon Musk's internet as well.
The Twitter sphere still going strong. Is it still up?
Yeah.
Barely.
Yeah, it is just it's like
Is
the
it
wild.
really a
West.
shit-
It's
is
like,
it a
it's like
shit
the
show?
Wild
Hey,
West now.
For all of our listeners,
Like
that
the
are
movie,
tech
it's that bad?
billionaires,
Yeah.
do create something better, or buy it or something because again, please help us. So
Luke, do you have any plugs? Anything you want the people to know?
follow Luke on Twitter.
I am on Twitter.
Luke's on Twitter.
It's Coach_Starkey. That's how Nate and I are friends.
Yeah. This is the first time you've met in person.
No, but we do follow each other on Twitter. So
And I love that.
Yeah, it's fun.
I love that.
No, I am on vacation. I teach econ, and I go back in a week.
What's something about economics that you wish that everybody would?
Yeah,
that
this
knew?
is your bully
Like,
pulpit here.
You do really love
That's tough.
econ.
I do love econ.
If you could have a billboard, this is a Tim Ferriss thing. If you could have a billboard where every single human being could see it, what would you put on that
And
billboard
we'll end on the podcast
related
on this.
to economics?
Wow. Just because I teach economics does not mean I know anything about the stock market. That's a big one.
I love it.
And that's honestly one of the first things I'd show. I start with like a big PowerPoint presentation in class first day. I said, all right, what is economics? People are like, money. No, that's wrong. Stock market. No, that's not wrong. That's not it. How should I make money? I don't know. I don't teach that. I don't teach I don't teach personal finance. I don't know. And basically the idea of like, just be aware that when you make a choice, that's economics. Is just the
choices.
Basically the science of choices being made. So like I chose to come here tonight meant anything else. Like, so I'm not watching Glass Onion, right? So everything you do has a choice, and make sure that your biggest thing is your time. And that's a big thing in econ. And I talk about it throughout the year. Like you place value on how you spend your time. So whatever you're doing time-wise, that's what you value. So I'd love coming here and talking movies and just hanging out. So this has a high level of value for me.
I know we can absolutely cut this.
Also, by the way, I could easily go another hour.
No,
You're talking econ.
And we can cut, and we really can't cut this part. So if you listen to the podcast, you don't hear this part. But I want you to tell the story about the sunk cost fallacy, about a relationship that was that somebody had come to you and said, like, I learned about sunk cost fallacy.
Oh yeah, so I teach about sunk costs. The idea like, once you've already paid for it, that shouldn't come make a decision, right? So Ben, you guys bought tickets for a movie at 7 p.m. You're too tired, you didn't go.
Right.
A lot of people would have gone regardless. Well, I already paid for the tickets. Oh, that's a sunk cost. So we start coming up with different examples, and one of them is you shouldn't stay in a relationship just because, well, we've been dating for over a year. That's why I'm staying in this relationship. And a month or so goes by, and this kid comes up. They're like, "Oh, I talked about econ at work." So what happened? Oh, I broke up with my girlfriend. So what? Yeah, I told her she was a sunk cost.
Holy shit!
And I said, wait. And they're like, yeah. I told them that. Yeah, I'm Mr. Starkey, my econ teacher, told me that this is a waste of time. I shouldn't worry. We've been together for too long. You're a sunk cost. I gotta go. Well, I'm glad you learned
economics in the real world.
And on that note, I've got a lot to think about on this podcast and my relationship with it. So,
you know what? Thank you for listening to the Sunk Cost podcast.
Fucking
making difference in kids' lives.
Damn, that is cold.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Nah, cheating, eh?